Can I pick my 10th now? Or are you done with all your points and your stalling and everything else?
10th, go ahead and pick your 10th date.
Okay, well, with my... Seriously.
Your favorite.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Abyss.
Did you get my videos?
I've gotten every one of them.
Have you? Have you watched them?
I've watched every one of them.
You see, Dave, I told you that I was going to come for you. I told you I needed an answer. I asked you to do one thing. Just one! And you couldn't do it. Wipe that smirk off your face. I came here for one reason. I spent my own time, my own money to get here, just to stand face to face with you. I want to fight, Dave. I challenge you to a fight. You want to fight? You're busy doing fantasy drafts and talking about the super friends. I don't care. I want to fight, Dave. Huh? You're big and bad on Twitter. You're big and bad when I'm not standing right here in front of your face, aren't you? Fight me, Dave. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. You can pick everything. You name it. But you're going to fight me.
You have wasted your time. You've wasted your money flying here. You've wasted the rental car you got, whatever else it is. I gave you a title match with Al Snow June 20th.
Yeah.
Circle B. I don't wrestle.
Yeah.
I don't fight. I promote. I'm the opinionist. I've been telling you that from the your issue was with Nelson. You got this whole thing twisted, man.
No, my issue moved to you. From him when you didn't answer my question, when you didn't do what I asked you to do. I asked you to fire him for what he did to me at Blizzard Brawl last year, and you couldn't do it. So forget about him.
You want an answer?
It's about you.
Do you want my answer?
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
Abyss, let's just calm down. Let's just...
Damien, there's no need for this.
Oh, I got
There's
it.
no need for this. This all started because of you. It's all your fault. And now... Oh, God! You're gonna die. I'll see you June 20th, Dave. And after I take that belt,
Ow! Help!
you will fight me.
Help!
All right, come on, Dave. We gotta get you out of here, man.
All right, guys. Come on, step back, step back, step back. You got from here.
My neck hurts. They got you. They got you. Relax. Watch.
All right.
Can you get me out of this? I hit my head going into that thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you lose consciousness at all?
I think so. I don't remember.
Okay. Where are you right now?
Orlando?
You're in Orlando?
Yeah. Florida.
Yeah? What were you doing when this happened?
I think I was watching wrestling.
Okay.
TNA.
All right.
I gotta hop in. Look.
Hop in, watch your step.
I'm gonna get my answer. And I'm gonna get what I want.
You know, Linda, no matter how many times I have watched that, it still is incredibly uncomfortable. Knowing that Abyss was an invited guest of Damien because he has an issue with me. And how bad it went. I mean, Bell Ambulance had to show up, paramedics. He had to be removed from the metal stairs.
Yeah, they'd be put on a stretcher.
I mean,
neck brace, everything.
He hasn't even, I've tried to call him. I mean, like I said yesterday on Feedback Friday, he's not replying on Facebook, he's not tweeting, Instagramming, nothing social media, and that's his deal.
Yeah, same with me.
You know?
Like I mentioned, I held his hand the entire time he got to the hospital and in the room, and I spent the night with him in the hospital room. Still haven't heard from him.
So, I guess that only gives us one option. I mean, we've talked about it yesterday. The network debut of the David Hero Show is coming up. Miss Betty, roll the tape. Welcome to the network debut of the David Hero Show. We have a huge show tonight along with my special guest host, Linda Kay. We have amazing guests.
Amazing.
I mean, we busted out the PWR Amex card and we are able to bring to you tonight the one, the only, the lovely, sweet, delicious Salma Hayek will be here tonight. Yes,
Woo.
fantastic. Yes. And one of the biggest box office stars in the history of box office stars. No, we're not talking about The Rock. We have the guy himself, the god, the Norse god, Thor, will be here tonight as well.
Thor.
On the David Hero Show. And of course, it cannot be the David Hero Show without a special musical guest. And the sweet sounds, the sweet seductive sounds of the one and only Kenny G will be here tonight as well.
Yes.
But before we bring everybody else on tonight, Linda Kay, I understand you have been at work producing, preparing, getting ready for a huge announcement, and you need to share with the world right now.
All right. David, I have thrown my hat into the reality show pool. I have submitted my video for Tough Enough.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
Stoked.
Now, I understand Billy Gunn's a coach, Chris Jericho's on board, Hulk Hogan, Lita, Booker T. What a great opportunity for you.
Yeah.
So let's hope if we go to the show, go to pwrshow.com or youtube.com/MaxSports. See Linda Kay's Tough Enough video. Shoot it out, tweet it, Facebook
Share
it, Snapchat it. Share it with the world.
Show the world.
Make the world aware that Linda Kay wants to be a part of the Tough Enough experience. And you definitely, always, unconditionally will have my vote. There's no doubt about that.
Well, thank you.
Yes. So, we know Damien's not here. That's why the David Hero Show is on tonight. We have a lot to talk about. We have Salma Hayek from Dusk
the hell?
Till Dawn and
What is this?
how did he show up?
Where have you been?
I've been here all day. I've been here working. I've been out here. And what is this going on in the green room over here with these stars? How'd they get here? What are they here for?
Well, you weren't going to be here, so I took it upon myself. I called my buddy Gino Salamone. He knows people that knows
Guys,
people.
just hold tight, please,
Yeah.
all right?
But, hey, be nice. That's Salma Hayek.
I know who that is,
Yeah.
and I know who I am, and I know who you are. And I'd like to say to both of you, where have you been? For the last 4 weeks, I've been laid up, hurt. My C4 through C7 vertebrae are shattered right now. I can't function totally right now.
We've tried
And you all
calling
sit
you.
here, and instead of doing this, you move to a different station. You do this David Hero Show, which I'd only heard rumors about up until now. It's over. It's done. There will be no guests.
Come on.
There will be no David Hero
paid
Show.
big money for
Congratulations. Good luck on your Tough Enough bid. But I need you to move there. I need you to go over to Studio B. We'll talk to the event center because this is prime time. And what these people have tuned in for is to hear about wrestling.
Well,
They
yeah,
want to hear
we're
about Payback tomorrow night. And they want to see Be the Booker for Payback tomorrow night. They want to hear about Daniel Bryan relinquishing the WWE Intercontinental Championship
I agree,
belt.
and then we will. I mean,
They
Salma
want to
Hayek-
hear about EC3's undefeated streak and what that means for him at Slammiversary. They want to hear about Billy Corrigan being a part of the TNA creative
and
team.
Thor wanted to talk about that.
They want to hear They want to hear about all that's going on in professional wrestling, and
Right.
that's what we do here. So we are going to reset, take a time out, change these graphics, and do what is the longest running pro wrestling talk show in the world today on broadcast television.
You need to pump
One
the
night
brakes.
only on
Seriously.
CW18, PWR Prime Time, right after this.
This can't be good for your blood pressure.
When you're diamond shopping, variety is important. At Robert Hack Diamonds, we'll show you multiple diamonds side by side underneath the microscope and show you what to look for when buying a diamond. GIA graduate gemologists are on staff for expert diamond grading. Robert Hack has affordable prices on all diamonds, including diamonds certified by the GIA. Need a mounting for your diamond? Our selection is huge. Buy your diamonds today at Robert Hack Diamonds or visit roberthackdiamonds.com.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime TV, the longest running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime Saturday night, the right way, here on CW18 for one night only. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, the alleged backyard, one-time knockouts, hardcore, straight edge, goat face, Hall of Famer hero.
Why the goat face?
Well, that's the face you're wearing today because your dear friend Selma Hayek has just left. I sent her home. I sent her back to the hotel. She's
Seriously?
at the Four Seasons in
She's
Chicago.
supposed to be at
How
my
are we
place.
supposed to afford that, by the way? And now she's
that's for
gone.
you to figure out.
I'm going to have a conversation with Thor later, though, because I need to find out how this hammer got so special. He did ask me, he's like, what realm is this? He's very confused.
Well, if you want to talk about his hammer, that's fine.
I did allow Kenny G to stay because I'd like to continue to hear his music
Well, yeah, he's nice
for the rest of the show. It's
soothing.
difficult to talk in this thing.
I'm sure. I'm happy to see you. Seriously.
Let's go to this week's WWE report, ladies and gentlemen. A big news coming out of Raw this past Monday night as the Intercontinental Champion, Daniel Bryan, again injured. Results of an MRI showing he won't be able to perform tomorrow night at Payback. Subsequently, then, he relinquishes the Intercontinental Championship. Daniel Bryan, April and May are not good months for him over the last 2 years.
April showers does not bring him any Mayflowers. I hate to be that guy, but we talked about
typically
this.
are.
But
We did. There's a curse.
I told you so. Everyone complained Daniel Bryan's not main eventing against Brock Lesnar. Imagine if that would have happened. And imagine if Daniel Bryan would have won the championship again, once again slaying the giant killer, Daniel Bryan, to only have to forfeit the title again. Thank God it's only a secondary title. You know what I mean?
But WWE, especially with what they're doing with John Cena and the Open Challenge for the United States Championship, more on that later, they have done a lot to elevate these two titles, U.S. and Intercontinental Championships, to a level higher than secondary.
I don't know if the IC belt's been elevated because if it's not being defended every week and it's not being showcased every week and it's not being seen every week,
But
it's kind of hard to elevate it.
that wasn't their fault.
No, of course not. But this is why they didn't go with Daniel Bryan, because there was concern about his health.
Legitimate concern and continued concern, ladies and gentlemen, as to whether or not Daniel Bryan will actually ever perform on a regular basis in a wrestling ring again.
And don't get me wrong, I like and appreciate the talents of Daniel Bryan. He is without a doubt a star, but eventually you have to go in a different direction. This is strike two. You can't put him in a spot to strike out.
Well, and his safety is the top concern over everyone. And let's not forget, there's a Daniel Bryan DVD coming out very soon from WWE. And obviously, he's got a ton of merchandise and a great following in the Yes
He'll
movement.
still be on TV because he's going to be a coach on Tough Enough.
But if he's not wrestling,
He can
if
still
he's not
coach.
in
He can
front
still
of that
coach.
crowd
He's
on
still
Monday
on
nights.
TV. He's still on TV, and the fans will always chant yes. But it opens the doors for newer talents, guys that have been waiting for opportunity, and hopefully some of them will take it.
One could argue, even though it's been about 5 years, that Daniel Bryan is still one of those newer talents.
No, he's not. He's an established star. He's a former multi-time world champion. He has headlined a WrestleMania.
He won the Intercontinental Championship ladder match at WrestleMania this past year in San Jose. But if Daniel Bryan does not get cleared medically to wrestle ever again, What impact will this have on him and WWE?
It will be a terrible story because it will be the guy that had a ton of talent, potential, unlimited potential, a huge fan following, kind of like Magnum TA. Remember Magnum TA?
I do remember Magnum TA.
Career cut short in a terrible car accident.
Yep.
He was one of the young up-and-coming stars, was rivaling the popularity of anybody in the world.
Flair and Rhodes.
You know,
in the
old
NWA at the time.
And he was a legitimate bona fide star. Daniel Bryan right now is in that same spot where unlimited potential, but can't get out of his own way.
And it's a shame, too, and I think we're going to hear more about this later in DWHS, his style of wrestling, all the years in Ring of Honor and all the years before that, and even his time in WWE, you can't argue that that did not contribute to what may be a short career for Daniel Bryan and really something to look at going forward.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of these young stars should look at the style of Daniel Bryan and say, hey, let's forget all the crazy high spots. Let's start to tell stories. Look what it did for Mick Foley's career.
Jim Ross said on last week's edition of the Ross Report podcast, which you can get for free on iTunes, he spoke about that very subject, about how wrestling matches nowadays are a series of spots, not a psychological match where stories are told. Now, he's not generalizing for every match because there were some great matches, including John Cena versus Neville this past Monday night on Raw, by the way, and that goes right up against what he did with Sami Zayn and what he did with Stardust in the Open Challenge for the United States Championship, showcasing tremendous younger talents. John Cena showcasing tremendous younger talents on Raw each and every week, a moment of brilliance by WWE, but more matches like that, less of those linked together spot matches is what I think we need in wrestling for the longevity of these careers and also for the buy-in of the audience.
Absolutely agree. Everyone loves to see a train wreck, but not every match. I love train wrecks. You know that. But at the same time, you still want to be told a story.
Sure do. And that story might be told on the Elimination Chamber, which has been added as a pay-per-view on May 31st. It's going to be a network exclusive, a WWE network exclusive, some 2 weeks after Payback, which is tomorrow night on pay-per-view.
They have done 3 pay-per-views in less than a month and a half.
And let's not forget, coming up on May 20th, next week, NXT will have another takeover special on the WWE network. Now, here's my question. The network has been free in November. It was free in April. Mm-hmm. It was free in May. Those of us who are paying...
It's only free when you sign up for the first month.
Correct. But those of us who are paying $9.99 a month, I'm not sure how that's going to go over with long-term fans. Because why not just cancel my subscription, wait till it's free again, and get it when it's free, because every month it's free. Consumers are smart. They'll figure, especially wrestling consumers.
Obviously,
they'll figure it out on how to get it.
The business plan for WWE is that network.
Yes.
That's why they're loading everything up. That's why they're putting podcasts on there. The Jericho podcast, the Austin podcast. Mm-hmm. You know, now the Elimination Chamber, which is amazing. I'm surprised they're dusting that thing off.
Well, we're going from now Payback to the Elimination Chamber to Money in the Bank, all within the span of a 1 month period of time.
Yeah, and let's not forget we just had Extreme Rules.
Here's my thought for the network. Here's what I think they should be doing on the network. If they're going to add Elimination Chamber, then let's go a bit old school with this new technology. And what I mean by that is bring back specials such as The Main Event, not Main Event that was on, The Main Event, Saturday night's Main Event.
Sure.
Do special episodes like that to fill the gaps a little better and make destination programming on the network without devaluing some of the names of these pay-per-view events that you've had in the past.
Those shows cost money.
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm. But they're doing them every week with, or not every week, but at least once a month with NXT. They're doing it with Elimination Chamber, and it costs less money than doing it on broadcast television.
The thing is, though, is Full Sail University is a television university.
Yes, it is.
So everything is there.
It is.
You don't have no trucks to bring in.
Well, but we're talking about WWE. Mm-hmm. They're not going to let students do their programming.
Right. Don't get hot.
I'm just telling you, one of those other broadcasts that will be emanating from Full Sail University, along with venues across the country, is WWE Tough Enough. Tough Enough announced to return. It will be airing on the USA Network, and this time, hosting Tough Enough will be none other than Y2J Chris Jericho.
It's going to be interesting.
Great tie-in for the Jericho podcast, which is also, as I said, available, or as you said, rather, available at times on the WWE Network.
You think it's a shot at Austin?
everybody thinks it's a shot at Austin, but according to Austin, it's not a shot at him as well. His relationship with WWE is good. His schedule did not allow.
So you got Jericho, Hulk Hogan, Daniel Bryan,
Booker
Paige, Booker T, Lita, and our dear, good, close, personal, longtime friend, Billy Gunn.
Speaking of Billy Gunn.
You and Billy it's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while. I'm looking forward to Tough Enough. It was a great show, and as we heard earlier, Linda Kay submitting her audition tape for that.
It's hot.
Is there a couch? There will be one female and one male talent picked for Tough Enough.
I thought you were talking about the couch.
Again, that will broadcast on the USA Network. Now, speaking of Billy Gunn, David Hero, this past Monday night on WWE Raw on the USA Network as well.
Yes.
Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, a little bit of a, I guess,
tongue-in-cheek, maybe?
Towards the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
Dressed as them. Are we looking at a matchup between those two teams?
Why did they put the wig on Darren Young?
Oh, he's shorter.
But Billy was taller than Road Dogg.
He's lighter?
However you want, I don't know.
Well, that will continue, folks. More WWE conversation and so much more when we come back here on the Pro Wrestling Report. We got a lot to talk about, David.
We have a lot to talk about.
Stephanie McMahon, Ronda Rousey, tag team reunited in WWE, and more coming up in just a few minutes. Linda, tell us what else.
Coming up next on PWR Primetime, we have WWE News, this week's Diamond of the Ring, Top 5, DHHS, and Be the Booker for tomorrow's Payback pay-per-view. All that and more on the other side of this brief timeout.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company just wasn't helping me, so I said stop, and I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They put the green light on my case and got me $65,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night, a special night, special channel here on CW 18.
You know what's awesome about this?
What's that?
I am a huge fan of The Flash and Arrow on this channel. This past week,
Thor's out there.
Were fantastic. What?
Thor is out there.
Yeah, I know that, but it's DC. Marvel's.
You couldn't get Captain America?
No. Who did he ever beat?
I'd like to see a matchup between him and Thor. That's all.
Thor would whoop him.
How?
He's a Norse god.
It's a Shield versus. It's like paper, rock, scissors. The Shield will always win.
The Rock is Black Adam.
No, we're not talking about Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Gosh. Anyways, here tonight on CW 18 and a special broadcast Sunday afternoon on My 24. Two episodes
so they get to
of
see
PWR
us
Primetime
twice this weekend?
They absolutely do. And let's get back into this week's WWE report and lots of conversation coming out of the confrontation at WrestleMania between Stephanie McMahon and Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, of course, UFC star. She can't find this thing. Damn you, Abyss. She can't find anybody she can go longer than 30 seconds with in a UFC octagon. And apparently, she and WWE are interested in a showcase matchup between her and McMahon at WrestleMania 32.
I don't want to see that.
You don't? You and Dana White don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. Come on. She should make Stephanie tap within seconds.
As the bell is ringing,
exactly.
Stephanie should be tapping.
Yes. If she goes longer than a minute with Ronda Rousey, it kills all the UFC credibility.
But what are you saying about Stephanie McMahon? She can't fight. She can't bring it. She's not trained. She can't do
her.
it.
Come on. She is not a trained assassin.
She's not, but we've got a year.
Have you seen her in The Untouchables?
Stephanie McMahon?
No, Ronda Rousey.
I have not.
Yeah, she's a killer.
So you don't want to see this at WrestleMania
not
32?
At all. No desire, not at all.
Because you're digging deeper into it perhaps than enjoying the spectacle it would be by saying there's no believability in it.
None. No believability.
Do you think that the 100,000 fans plus that will set a new attendance record in AT&T Stadium
that match
won't
is
want to see
not going
that?
to sell tickets.
It won't?
It will not sell tickets.
It won't.
Nobody's going to buy a ticket to see Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey. Nobody will buy a ticket just for that match.
NXT TakeOver, as we talked about before the break, will be back on the WWE Network on May 20th.
Would you buy a ticket to see that?
I buy a ticket to WrestleMania every year. No matter what, I'm going to WrestleMania.
Right, but for that match, would you pay just to see that match?
If I'm a UFC fan and I want to see Ronda Rousey, go into a WWE ring.
Into a fake fight.
Go into a WWE ring, and if I've seen what Brock Lesnar has done in his time in WWE,
different.
Then I am going to buy a ticket to go.
You cannot compare Stephanie McMahon to a Roman Reigns, to a Seth Rollins, to a CM Punk, to
She's a former Divas Women's Champion.
You cannot compare.
It's in her blood.
Okay. I don't know what you hit your head on. I don't know what drugs you've been on.
Would you rather see Ronda Rousey versus Dixie Carter?
Oh, God. Well, maybe. I mean, if that changes the business, I don't know. I mean,
Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver on the 20th, that on the WWE Network. Here's the thing, David Hero, that is worth noting. NXT, and we talked about this a couple of months ago here on this broadcast, but NXT, because it has the machine behind it, has more buzz than both TNA and Ring of Honor.
Hands down. And it's a better product right now.
You know what? It looks better. There are good matches. There are fans that are invested in the product, which Ring of Honor has as well.
Right. But the fans and the fans that go to Ring of Honor buy a ticket to go to Ring of Honor.
And they want to be there, and they will be there, and they'll be here again when Ring of Honor returns to Milwaukee in a couple months.
And tickets go on sale soon for that,
I believe they do. ROHWrestling.com.
And NXT, their fans buy a ticket also.
Yep.
And those tickets aren't cheap.
No.
I mean, that's almost like a WWE live event.
There are as many people at Full Sail University for the NXT shows as there are at Universal Studios for the TNA broadcasts.
They're paying to see NXT. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and let's be fair, I'm not sure they can charge admission for the TNA tapings because we don't know their agreement with Universal Studios. Part of the Universal Studios draw is you have the opportunity to see live TV shows done or TV shows being taped or whatnot. So again, don't know if they have that same opportunity, but at the same time, it's the investment that those fans have in the product because they've paid for their ticket. They went intentionally.
You should email Dixie and find out.
Should I?
And see if she replies.
She has been sending a lot of emails lately.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I will. Anyways, that's this week's WWE report, folks. A lot going on in the realm of WWE. Of course, also, see what I did there, Thor, realm. Payback tomorrow night on pay-per-view and on the WWE Network. Later on in this broadcast, we will bring you Be the Booker, where we fantasy book the pay-per-view event for tomorrow night. Are you
threatening me right now?
How so?
Oh, you're just telling me what to do.
Also, we'll have the results so far after the first event, WWE Extreme Rules of the Fantasy
By the way, we need to talk
Draft.
about this. We need to insurance claim this thing.
Here's the thing. My C4, my C5, my C6, my C7 are shattered.
has an amazing C4.
And you care about a $3 trophy more so than my physical well-being, my health, my future in this business, and whether or not I could still perform each week here at this table.
I can't fix your neck, but I can try to fix this.
It's the same kind of situation. That it's broken.
I'm screwing some things in here, and hopefully this will make it better.
Let's go to Linda Kay with this week's Event Center.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. GLCW returns to Circle B Recreation in Cedarburg on Saturday night, June 20th for Callapalooza 3 with a 7 p.m. bell time. The main event will be a hardcore match for the GLCW title with Al Snow defending against the Monster Abyss. But the real story here is whether or not Abyss gets his hands on David Hero. Find out along with several other matches at Callapalooza 3 on June 20th at Circle B Recreation in Cedarburg. Tickets are on sale now at blizzardbrawl.com. WWE returns to the BMO Harris Bradley Center for a SmackDown TV taping on Tuesday, July 7th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. And that's it for this week's Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. Now, let's see who David picked as this week's Diamond of the Ring.
Thank you, Linda. Big events coming to Milwaukee, including WWE SmackDown. And are you serious? You're really still bringing in Abyss on June 20th?
It's a signed I have no choice. And the part that is bothersome to me is I was going to
bothersome to you. C4, C5, C6,
but
C7.
Listen, I was going to try to fix it. I was going to make myself the special guest referee. But as you were out, I've been out. I had a couple foot surgeries. I had business to take care of.
So you were laid up.
I'm going to be in a boot till middle of July right now. So, which, by the way, I do want to thank Todd and Jesse and Dr. Boudreau and Dr. Palopoli.
No, Jerome.
No, Jesse.
You said Jesse.
Jesse.
No, Jerome.
No, it was Jesse.
And
Todd, and my guy Todd. But I'll be honest, I was going to accept this challenge, but now I can't get medical clearance.
Well, I won't be anywhere near that place on June 20th. But
it's Circle B in Cedarburg. It's not that far of a drive. It's right up Highway 60 and 43.
You see what he did to me. I will not.
But Uncle Al's going to be there. And I heard Armando Estrada's going to be there also. You'll be fine.
Who's this week's Diamond?
This week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring. First of all, Robert Hack is the only place I feel safe selling my gold and buying their diamonds. You should go there. You might be safe. But this week's Diamond of the Ring is the young stud superstar Neville. First of all, off of WrestleMania, he has a great match with Rollins. Finals of the King of the Ring, a tremendous match with John Cena. Obviously, the rocket is on his back. Diamond of the Ring this week, Neville. And that gravity forgot.
He is an amazing talent, but again, I think we'll hear more about Neville as well later in DWHS.
Of course, I have lots to say this week.
And, well, we have a lot to say in more of this special edition of the Pro Wrestling Report here on CW18 for the first time and last time ever as we move back to our home on My-24 next month.
I like being here with Arrow and Flash.
Let's go to Linda, find out what else we have in store.
Coming up next on PWR Primetime, we talk about Billy Corgan joining TNA, this month's Top 5, DHHS, and a draft update with Be the Booker for tomorrow's Payback pay-per-view.
Have all your printing needs taken care of by the official printer of the Pro Wrestling Report and Great Lakes Championship Wrestling, Union Copy Centers. With over 25 years of experience, Union Copy Centers is the only union printer in the Milwaukee area with silk screening and printing, including business cards, letterhead, envelopes, flyers, brochures, invitations, and apparel such as hats and t-shirts, all to your custom design specification. Union Copy Centers is your one-stop shop for all your printing needs. Call or email us now for your custom quote.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime TV, the longest running pro wrestling talk show in the world and the only one on broadcast TV. There's already been some great discussion in the first half of the show on WWE, but we have so much more for you in the second half. Big news out of TNA, this month's Top 5, DHHS, and Be the Booker for WWE Payback tomorrow on pay-per-view. So now let's go back to Damien and David with this week's TNA report.
Thank you, Linda.
You know, I wouldn't move it around quite so much. Keep it still.
Damian Nelson and sitting alongside David Hero here for the Pro Wrestling Report. Primetime Saturday night, the longest running, as Linda said, broadcast television show about pro wrestling in the world. You know, it goes Raw, SmackDown, then us.
And then the David Hero Show.
Yeah, which will never happen again.
Come on, dude.
Can we get Thor in here just for a minute?
I would love to have Thor come in here. Drop the hammer.
Hammer.
No, that's Arnold.
Thor's. Anyways, folks, it's time for this week's TNA Wrestling Report. And, wow, two big shows over the course of the last couple of weeks. Last week, though, big show as we saw two big returns to TNA Impact Wrestling. Firstly, Velvet Sky.
Well, she's returning, but the other guy's not.
Well, we don't know for sure.
Oh, I know for sure.
Bully Ray, who was a special guest referee for the matchup between Eric Young and Kurt Angle for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Now, here's the thing. Bully Ray, I've endorsed him. He is a great talent. I thoroughly enjoy him, and I'm glad to see him back in TNA Impact Wrestling. Velvet Sky, Velvel does make everybody holler. Great to see her back in TNA as well. But unfortunately, with these two returns, they were nothing more than hot shots. What I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, is they were live for whatever reason on Destination America, and in order to draw an audience or to have some type of surprise, they brought these two people back. Let me explain further. The opening of the show, cold open, Eric Young in the ring, explaining that he has this matchup with Kurt Angle and that he understands her as a special guest referee. Now, if you're a person who hadn't tuned in a while, you probably want some backstory. Maybe there should have been a video package. Catch Me Up, Reset Me TNA. And then Bully Ray's music hits. to a whimper, unfortunately, as a direct result of the things we talked about earlier. The fans there weren't prepared, did not know, did not understand that this man had been gone for months, that he was a big deal, and that it meant a lot for him to be in the main event as the special guest referee for Eric Young versus Kurt Angle. So there was a bit of disjointedness, I guess you could call it, in that opening for Impact, which, by the way, I thought Impact was a very good show for the last 2 weeks as well. Yes, I do say that, David Hero. And I
don't get what you, I mean, I don't get it, because there was no payoff to have Bully Ray there.
Yeah.
There was no heat.
None.
He was not a focal point of that match whatsoever.
They did not build it.
Okay.
And why was he special guest referee? I'm not sure that question was ever answered.
There's no reason.
Josh Matthews, by the way, did a great job in commentary, does a great job in commentary, has done a great job solo. It's his WWE training. You can hear it if you listen to it. But he did a great job of filling in the gaps and trying to explain.
But last week, or the week before, Eric Young beat Kurt Angle in a stretcher match. So why do you need a special guest referee? You just had a violent match the week before. There's no reason for it. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? They didn't do anything with Bully Ray in that match to say, hey, let's write him back onto TV.
No tease, no hint, no
nothing.
What do we do next? Now, keep in mind, that was 2 months ago when they filmed that matchup, the stretcher match.
Right, but what I'm saying is, and then let's even go to the Beatdown Clan, which, honestly, for me, I feel was socially irresponsible. That's just my opinion. And I like all those guys in the group. And then you got Drew Gallows with Mika. And I'll be honest, I can't think of the other guy's name. So they haven't done a good job of branding the, what is it, stand up?
Hashtag stand up.
Hashtag stand up.
Yes.
What do you do now? I mean, you can't even reset a reset anymore. The best thing about that show has been EC3.
Who is still undefeated in singles competition in Impact Wrestling. And
he's getting a big payoff now.
He is getting a big payoff, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a spoiler. We typically don't do these on these shows, but this is relevant and important to talk about. The main event matchup at Slammiversary, coming to us from Orlando, Florida, next month from Impact Wrestling.
On June 28th.
Will feature Kurt Angle defending his championship against EC3, the undefeated Eric Carter III.
And I think that's great, but I think it's too soon.
Too soon for who?
For EC3. I think EC3 should become the TNA World Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion of the world.
However, there are a lot of people making those decisions.
Too many people. And the problem is you don't do that match this early in the summertime because people aren't home to watch it. And second of all,
if given a reason, they will be. Because by that case, then why is WWE doing Elimination Chamber May 31st? Why are they doing Money in the Bank June 14th? 15th,
Money in
whatever
the
it
Bank is an established brand pay-per-view.
Slammiversary is too. 7 to 8 years it's been around, if not 12. Ladies and gentlemen, TNA has also announced the addition of Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins fame and of Resistance Pro Wrestling fame to its creative team. Billy has said he wants to bring some real-life elements to professional wrestling. Billy's a great guy. Billy has done great things in the musical world. Billy has done things in the wrestling world. However, they can't pay AJ Styles. They couldn't pay Samoa Joe. They are finding money and resources to bring Billy Corgan on board to assist with the creative team. And now the creative team, while we are friends with many of them, it's not unfair to say, David Hero, that the creative team as a whole in TNA Impact Wrestling has never...
Here's my problem with TNA Creative right now. And I like Billy Corgan. I consider him a friend.
You've interviewed him on this very program.
I like Dave Lagana. I consider him a friend. I know Matt Conway. Don't know him well enough to call him a friend. Not one of those three guys have any pro wrestling experience. Not one of those three guys have ever taken a bump. Not one of those three guys truly understands the art of wrestling psychology.
Not their fault.
It's not. You need somebody else that has been in the ring, like a Jeff Jarrett or a Dutch Mantle, you know, or somebody.
Mantle?
Zeb. He was Dutch Mantle.
Mantel.
Mantel. Well, I'm thinking on my trophy, Mantle. And That's what you need to help to clean up and to make it viable and
to make it
real.
make sense.
Yes.
Because there's those little things. You can have great idea guys and great writers and great storytellers, but it has to make wrestling sense as well. Folks, again, I refer to it often because I listen to it weekly. The Ross Report podcast, Jim Ross, he says all the same stuff. And
so we can't be wrong.
You need, you need...
Here's my problem with TNA.
Why does it always turn into a bash fest of TNA
it's
on
not,
this program?
But it's not. 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had a poll on a match.
They had a poll on a match?
Yeah, a poll on a, whatever you call it.
Something on a pole match.
Something on a, no, a poll's on a pole match. A pipe on a pole match, that's what it was. Same thing. Depends where you see your poles and pipes. They didn't use the pipe for the finish. How do you have a pipe
then
match?
What's the payoff? Why bother having...
They didn't go for the pipe until like 6 minutes of fighting all around the place before they went for it and don't even use it in the finish. That's the gimmick of the match. So that right there tells you a lot of these ideas need to be cleaned up and fixed. I'm done. Sorry. I'm not bashing TNA. I want them to do well. Everyone knows we have lots of friends there.
They're doing well on Destination America, by the way.
Right,
their ratings are solid. The network keeps touting how great the ratings
are. But let's
are.
be honest, there is rumblings that relationship is crumbling right now. Okay? And let's face it, no one in TNA is being looked at as a potential star by WWE. None of those guys
I think a lot of that's out of arrogance and spite.
But if they passed on Bobby Roode when they had the chance, and they passed on AJ Styles, and they haven't really looked at Samoa Joe.
I think they have.
He's not there yet.
He is not.
Those are 3 of their main stars.
3 guys they built.
Yeah. So...
Here's the thing to also know about Global Force Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, which is the Jeff Jarrett-led organization, recently announced several talents, including our dear friend Chris Masters will be a part of that.
Via Trinidad?
They will be taping television shows in Las Vegas, Nevada over the course of the summer and fall. We don't yet know where those shows are going to air, but we do know that Global Force Wrestling is apparently considering and maybe hiring good old JR Jim Ross as its primary play-by-play
because they
guy.
have a lot of young talents there that need someone to tell the stories.
Tell the story. Let's go back to Josh Matthews. Worked with JR, worked with Michael Cole, worked with the WWE machine, if you will. I'm incredibly impressed by how well he does on commentary for Impact Wrestling. However, I'm bewildered as to why they're taking the ECW route with single-man commentary. We saw Al Snow.
Because they're
good job.
still auditioning.
The Pope, D'Angelo De Niro.
They're auditioning to have
auditioning on live TV. That's what they used to do when. That's what they did when Regis and or Kelly left. Regis and Kathy Lee.
Sure, but you're seriously comparing the 2 companies.
ABC and TNA.
Yeah.
Buena Vista Television and TNA. That is this week's very long TNA report, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I apologize. He turned it into another TNA
No,
bashing.
I did not. I'm being honest. I'm the voice of all the voicelesses.
Let's go to this week's top 5, this month's top 5, ladies and gentlemen. The 5 top talents in professional wrestling, at least from the way I see them, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5 goes to a man we've talked a lot about so far in this program, a man who had a great matchup with John Cena this past Monday night on Raw, Neville. Just, it's a fresh talent, a fresh style, if you will, of wrestling right now in WWE.
There's only one thing that could hold him back.
Number 4 goes to EC3, Ethan Carter. I think I called him Eric earlier. Ethan Carter III in Impact Wrestling. He is just great. Number 3 goes to John Cena, aforementioned John Cena, who is not the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, not in the main event, not on the top of the card, but having a U.S. Championship Open Challenge each and every week on Raw. And the only way they could have ended that match this past Monday was the way they did, because Neville looked so good and John Cena made him look that good.
John Cena slowed him down and made sure that he kept him.
John Cena helped him in what aspect of professional wrestling this past Monday night?
Telling a story.
Number 2 goes to Sami Zayn. Same thing happened in Canada last week on Raw with John Cena. And number 1 goes to a man who is getting greater and greater and greater with each passing week. The current WWE champion, Seth Rollins.
Are you serious?
Absolutely, I did. First month, Roman Reigns is not on that list.
You don't like him?
He's endorsed. He's a future world champion.
Is he on your team?
He is. He is part of the Nelson family. Absolutely.
Are you sure?
I'm not certain because I don't have that list in front of me, and I'm under duress right now. So that is this month's
right now?
top 5. And let's go now to DWHS. What do you have for us, Dave?
The WWE is looking for new stars, and open auditions have been all over their Monday Night Raw TV show. And I'm not talking about the Tough Enough audition videos. Since John Cena defeated Rusev at WrestleMania, he has had the U.S. Championship Open Challenge. And young talents have been given time in the ring with the WWE's biggest star. Talents like Stardust, Sami Zayn, and Neville have had amazing matches, not just squash matches, but competitive matches, and where the younger talents were given the time and opportunity to tell their story. It seems like Neville may be on the fast track with matches against Rollins, King of the Ring finals, and Monday Night with John Cena. But as with all high-impact wrestlers, such as Daniel Bryan, let's hope Neville slows down his style a little bit to avoid those injuries. It's an exciting time for the WWE mid-card right now, and let's see who grabs the proverbial brass rings. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
The 2015 PWR Fantasy Draft is well underway as of last month's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and we have the very first update of the year. First, let's again review the rosters. Team Super Friends led by David Hero includes Seth Rollins, Rusev, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Ryback, Dean Ambrose, Neville, Luke Harper, Sasha Banks, and due to the interference of Abyss, David did not get his number 10 pick. Team Nelson family includes Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, John Cena, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, Brock Lesnar, Wade Barrett, Paige, Big Show, and the team of Kid and Cesaro. In the first event of the year, the Nelson family came out on top. The family scored 340 points to take the early lead, while the Super Friends took in 295 points at Extreme Rules. The scoring continues tomorrow at Payback, and David Hero will be announcing his replacement for Daniel Bryan in Be the Booker, which starts right now.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you especially for letting the world know that this guy is on top of the world in the PWR Fantasy Draft so far. 350 points to your 275. That even includes your bonus points that you got.
The trophy.
Yeah, it is. And all that's left of the show, at least for our discussion on Payback tomorrow night on pay-per-view, is Be the Booker, ladies and gentlemen. In this segment, this guy, Fantasy Books, the pay-per-view event, as he would do it if he had the pencil, if you will. David Hero? Let's take it away.
Let's start off with the pre-show match. It's the Mega Powers against the Road Warriors 2015.
And points are applied in pre-show matches now, a smaller number of points, so points are applied in the draft.
Just so you can get
more
points.
Clearly you're the one that's going to need the help.
I'll be fine. I'm always fine. The Mega Powers against the Ascension. Is really what it is.
It totally is.
How do they, you know what's funny is that back when Hogan and Savage left for WCW, it was the Huckster and the Nacho Man.
Yes.
And now...
And Scheme Gene.
And Scheme Gene. And now it's Axelmania and Macho Mizdow.
The pre-show matchup, Ascension versus Macho Mizdow.
It's a no-brainer, dude. I mean, the crowd is going to be so far behind these two guys.
Yeah.
And there's no way you put the Macho Man in the Hall of Fame and then have his character lose on the first pay-per-view back.
Ryback will go one-on-one with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt coming off the heels of a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and you know, this is an interesting match because both guys have a lot of steam, but they're both stuck in neutral.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, amazing talent. Ryback has done nothing but improve. He's gotten better. But you got to wonder how many more losses can Bray Wyatt afford before he's no longer considered a threat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Bray Wyatt starts his ascension to get back to the top of the card with a victory over Ryback.
What? Nelson family, yo?
And here's why you got to think that. Because Harper and Rowan are back together
They are a team again.
So maybe the Wyatt family comes back again.
There it is. And they will need it against the beast that is Ryback.
Yes.
Wade Barrett, former Intercontinental Champion and the current King of the Ring, one-on-one with Neville. This match a follow-up to their pre-show matchup from Extreme Rules.
And this for me is extremely frustrating because I'm a Wade Barrett guy. Wade Barrett is extremely super talented. The bullhammer finish is awesome. He had a big victory over Dolph Ziggler, even though Sheamus got involved.
Mm-hmm.
But Neville seems to be the golden boy. He's the guy that he's gonna. I hate to say it, he's gonna take Daniel Bryan's spot, is what's gonna happen. And Neville is impressive. He's a high flyer. I'm concerned about all that because guys like Daniel Bryan and Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio and all those high-flying luchador type wrestlers, their shelf life is short. I do like Barrett to get the victory over Neville just because of the experience.
Hashtag Nelson family.
Which, by the way, since we're doing this, well, I can't even.
You've got to replace Daniel Bryan. Linda said.
I do have to pick up.
Probably should have done that before you started picking people, but you do have to replace Daniel Bryan.
I'll be fine.
You have until Sunday.
I do have until Sunday.
Which is
2
hours.
A few hours
from
from
now.
It'll be fine. We'll be good. Ziggler and Sheamus. Ziggler got the win last week, but Sheamus loses on SmackDown.
And Ziggler still hasn't,
Ambrose.
or Sheamus still hasn't kissed Ziggler's arse.
But why do you bring back Sheamus as this big beast to just lose? It doesn't make sense. But Sheamus is a established brand. But you need baby faces right now. You need strong baby faces. I hate to say it, Dolph Ziggler gets the victory over Sheamus.
New Day! New Day! New Day!
I'll be quite honest, this match I have really no interest in whatsoever.
Who wins?
Well, it's a 2
Former champs,
it's a
Kid
2 out of 3
Cesaro,
falls
New Day, the
match.
tag
It's tied
team
up 1-1. You know, and right now they're trying to. God, you have to put New Day over. You really do, because you just can't stop and start. But they do it all the time with Cesaro. Now Cesaro and Kid are baby faces, which means he gets to do the gimmicky swing again.
The Cesaro swing.
The Cesaro swing, the Superman swing. But the New Day.
He is the Swiss Superman.
But the New Day needs the tag titles
New
to be relevant
Day?
deals. And we're in Baltimore.
Do you want a different color marker?
We're in Baltimore. So let's go with the New Day. How does that sound?
And also, ladies and gentlemen, another matchup will be Naomi and Tamina, this just added, versus the Bellas.
Yeah. I don't understand how a Funkadactyl gets so evil so quick. I think it's great for Tamina. I think it's a great spot for her. The Bellas seem to be transitioning on their way out, from what I'm guessing. I know I've been laid up a little bit, but how did the Bellas become baby faces?
It was a turn that wasn't a turn.
I don't get it.
They coasted. It was like a curve, an S-curve. Naomi and Tamina get the win in that matchup. Cena versus Rusev, third pay-per-view event in a row. Each has one win over the other.
No, they don't. Rusev
Cena
lost
won.
at Mania.
Yeah.
Rusev lost the
Oh, did
chain
he? I'm
match.
sorry. I was thinking of Rusev's smash that he performed on Cena this past Monday night.
And now it's an I Quit match. And God knows John Cena's never going to quit. You know what I mean?
He never gives up. I
And it-
quit.
And I'll be honest, this sucks for Rusev because Rusev needed to get a victory over John Cena.
He will have lost his woman, he will have lost his title, and he will have lost his truck and his dog as well.
But I'm going to go with Rusev by shenanigans. I think he will find a way to make John Cena quit.
The main event, ladies and gentlemen, it is a fatal four-way matchup for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins will defend against the endorsed Roman Reigns, against Randy Orton, against Dave Hero's favorite, Dean Ambrose. 4 men in this matchup. Seth Rollins does not need to get pinned to win the title, to lose the title.
And for me, here's the thing on this entire match. I have no interest. Because
Ambrose?
All 4 guys are so vanilla right now.
Roman Reigns is the only one who's not vanilla in this matchup.
Wait, because he's Samoan? I would go with, if I'm booking this main event, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to have Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose reform the Shield, beat down Randy Orton, Rollins retains the title, and the Shield is back together like a 4 horsemen type group, protecting Rollins and the WWE Championship. Because Reigns is not getting over as the babyface. There's dissension in the Authority, and what better way for the Shield to then battle the Authority? So I'm going to say Rollins retains because the Shield comes back together again.
It's the Shield versus Orton. Orton gets screwed. He's the babyface he needs to. Pay-per-view ends hot. Elimination Chamber. Put the Shield in with Orton and pick 4 other guys, 3 other guys, 2 other guys.
They're saying right now Elimination Chamber might be for the vacant IC title and for the tag titles. But I would love to see the Shield reform and be like that 4 horsemen type group where they protect Seth Rollins, who can be Ric Flair, Ambrose can be Tully, and Reigns can be Arn Anderson.
That's Be the Booker, ladies and gentlemen. WWE Payback tomorrow night on pay-per-view. I like what you done did here, David Hero.
I have my moments.
We'll be right back.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber law officers.
One call, that's all.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final leg of this special edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime here on CW18. Damian Nelson sitting alongside Dave Hero. And, of course, David Hero would be remiss if we did not send our condolences out to the Gagne family.
Yes.
Vern Gagne, a pioneer in the AWA, a pioneer in professional wrestling, and a man who spent a lot of time here in Milwaukee as well at the Mecca Arena. Vern Gagne passing away recently. And, of course, our condolences go out to the family, the fans, and, you know, that's a funeral I wish we could have gone to for many reasons. But Vern Gagne, he really made wrestling what it is in this northern territory, if you will, Minneapolis, Milwaukee.
I mean, it was more than just a northern territory. It was the entire Midwest. And our good buddy, Mean Gene Okerlund, was up there.
Oh, my.
And apparently had a standing ovation eulogy.
Yeah.
For the great Vern Gagne.
Vern Gagne, WWE Hall of Famer. Certainly rest in peace. And folks, it's time now to go to our May forecast and take a look at what to look for over the course of the next month in professional wrestling. Now we are halfway through the month, but we've got some big events, David Hero, that are taking us through Money in the Bank. The WWE Elimination Chamber on May 31st just added, and also NXT TakeOver on May 20th. And let's not forget Ring of Honor this weekend, doing big internet pay-per-view shows, night 1 tonight, night 2 tomorrow night. Adam Cole just returning to Ring of Honor as well. But I think there are several questions on the grand scale of professional wrestling that need to be answered. What will happen at the Elimination Chamber and what ramifications will come out of that going into Money in the Bank in June? And when will we see either Brock Lesnar or Paul Heyman back on WWE television?
I think it's a safe bet we'll see Brock Lesnar back in July. Leading into SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer?
Absolutely. And it's going to be in Brooklyn. I wonder if PrimeTime will be back.
Speaking of Crime Time, have you checked out JTG's new ebook, which is available online?
No, I have not.
You've not? It's Damn, Why Did I Write This Book is the title of it.
Is it any good?
Well, he spills a lot of dirt.
Really?
Yeah, and it's available online right now. JTG, formerly of Crime Time, writing a tell-all, if you will, about his time in WWE. And
why do people do that?
Worth a read.
I don't understand that. I mean, if it's just to throw dirt on people, why do it?
If they'd hired Bret Hart back, anybody can come back.
Exactly. If they hired Sable back, the Road Warriors,
the Ascension,
Hall and Nash.
It's water on the bridge. Money means money. But July for Brock Lesnar. I like that. We'll see what happens with that. And we'll see also what comes out of the Elimination Chamber. Will Seth Rollins survive? Will he survive Payback tomorrow night? And will he survive Elimination Chamber as the WWE Champion? In my opinion, the longer he is champion, the better he is at being champion, because it's all in the chase. People chasing him, Randy Orton, whoever it may be, for that championship is what makes him look like a better champion. Folks, want to make sure you know that the Pro Wrestling Report returns to our home on My 24 with an all-new edition that comes Saturday, June 14th, the night before WWE Money in the Bank, where we'll have Be the Booker and all the latest from professional wrestling. But in the meantime, be sure to check out PWR Live. We are live on air online each and every Monday night after WWE Raw, and also after Payback tomorrow night on Blog Talk Radio. That's blogtalkradio.com/PWR, with the man they call Meathead and Matthew Thomas hosting that show, where you can call in and be a part of it live. We will not have a broadcast edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime for the Elimination Chamber. Schedule would not allow it after WWE added it, as it was not an original pay-per-view event, but we will be back on June 14th. I want to thank all of you for joining us here on CW18 for the special edition, and on Sunday, on My 24 for this encore edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time.
June 13th, my friend. Well, I don't want people to come in on Sunday and we're not there. It's on Saturday, June 13th.
For that one, this is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on My 24 for Prime Time.